Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are going to see all about the VFX workers who want to settle in Quebec as a permanent residence. Yes, I am talking about the 3 pilot program which Quebec has released for IT, AI and VFX sectors. I have made video on these 5 months ago when Quebec just announced about these programs. But at that time there was no much information provided, and now this pilot program has come into an effect from April 22, 2021 and it will be closing on January 1st, 2026. If you have not watched my previous video on this, please go and check it out, as that is the first thing which you have to see, and there are a lot of basic information you will be able to get. So now let's quickly jump into the process and who can apply for this, what is a financial aid, then what streams you can apply for and everything. So who can apply for this? A foreign worker or a Quebec graduate in artificial intelligence or a foreign worker in information technology and VFX sector. You have to be proficient in spoken French if you are applying via Francophone profile and hold or have accepted a job in Quebec artificial intelligence sector, information technology or VFX sector. As I mentioned in my older video also, this program allows selection of 550 people and their family per year. That is 275 Quebec graduates and temporary workers in artificial intelligence sector and 275 foreign workers in IT and VFX sector. So now you know how many people are going to invite per year. If you are in VFX sector, then it is just 275, and that is shared with IT professionals. So see where you will stand for this. I suggest you to explore a lot of things before applying for any PR. So now let's see how is the selection process. So as I mentioned earlier, this pilot program is comprised of 2 fields, that is AI, and the second one is information technology and VFX. So in AI, they will be inviting 275 people and their families. In IT and VFX sector, it is 275. IT and VFX together, and after this each stream includes 2 profiles, that is Francophone and Francisation. We will see about this completely in later stages, but now just understand Francophone and Francisation. So if you want to fall under these pilot programs, then your age should be 18 or more. You should intend to settle in Quebec to hold a job and respect the conditions of your stay in Quebec if applicable. If most important thing, demonstrate financial self-sufficiency. If you are falling under these categories, then you are eligible for applying for Quebec. These are general things. So now let's see what are the financial proofs you have to provide. So as shown on the table, you have to provide all these things. So essential needs for family units. You need this much money to support yourself and your family in Quebec. So now I spoke on AI and VFX and IT sector, but as this video is completely for VFX worker who is looking for getting a PR in Quebec. So now let's see in detail what are the conditions you need to have if you have to be applicable for Quebec pilot program. So first one is you should hold a diploma that minimally corresponds to Quebec Diploma of College Studies and Technical Training or a Quebec Bachelor degree. That is education. You should have or held a job on a full-time basis for the period of at least 24 months, that is 2 years, during the 60 months preceding submission of your applications for selection program. You should also hold or have a accepted eligible job in Quebec on a full-time basis for which the hourly wages is equivalent to the maximum wages of average salary of your occupation. For more information, I have left a link in a description. You can go and check it out. So these are all about the conditions which you have to look when you are applying for Quebec PR. Now let's see which all are the NOCs you have to fall in to be applicable for this process. So to be eligible, your job must correspond to one of the following occupation under the National Occupational Classification. These are the NOCs mentioned on the screen on which your job should be categorized. So we saw most of the things now, and now you will be wondering where is the French requirement for this. Yes, here comes the tricky part. Now if you are applying into Francophone, then you need French. let's see how you can apply in francization profile. So when you are submitting your application under this profile, then you should sign an agreement mentioning that you will be actively involved in learning French with Quebec government. As you know that Quebec government is very fond of saving their culture, so even they are providing free French classes for all the immigrants. So I have also made video on that. If you haven't watched that, I have linked it in I button. Go and check it out. For more details, I have left a link in description also. So now let's come to the tricky part, that is Francophone profile. To be selected under Francophone profile, you must have a knowledge of oral French that is correspondence to level 7, that is B1 or B2. In short, you should have a knowledge of oral French, that is oral comprehension and oral expression. If you are declaring your profile with Francophone, then you will have to declare all the documents mentioned below. A final transcript assisting that you have successfully completed at least 3 years of study, that is secondary or post-secondary, full-time French, or entirely completely in French. It must be like 3 years you should complete the education in French. You must also provide an attestation for your educational institute that indicates the duration of your study program and the language of instructions if required. So if you are taking any French related test, that is for example TEF, then you should be able to provide that as well. These are 2 profiles under which you can submit your PR application. So usually consider one thing, that the French speaking people will be given more importance in Quebec. So if you know the knowledge of French, that is very helpful for you to get a PR here. So now let's move to the fees part. For principal applicant, it is 822 Canadian dollar. For the spouse, then it is 176 for Canadian dollar. Then if you have a dependent child, then it will be like 176 Canadian dollar again. So if you have 2 children, then it will be like 176 plus 176. These fees are non-refundable even if your application is getting accepted or rejected. So now you will be wondering, okay, I did all the processes. So how can I apply for profile? Is it in a Canadian federal website or is it in a Quebec website? Yes, you have heard about the Arima portal. After this process, you can apply for your CSQ in Arima portal. In there, even you can find part 1 and part 2 permanent residence application form, which need to be filled, signed and dated accordingly when you are submitting your profile. If you are selected and got your CSQ, then you can apply for Federal Express Entry program. So there are 2 steps, like first you have to get a CSQ for this, and after that you have to go and apply for a PR, that is Express Entry on Federal. So I can give you one recommendation. If you are applying under this category, make sure your points are above, like you will be able to count your points with the help of a form which is on a Quebec government website. I have left a link in the description, you can go and check it out. Make sure you reach the points, because if your application is getting rejected or it is refused, then you won't be getting any refund for that. Usually, as per our research, this looks quite a challenge to get an CSQ. If you are in VFX industry or IT industry, then together you will be having 275. Looking into, so many people are applying, and we have just an year of experience now, so we don't know we will be getting or not. So we are doing our research to see what suits our best. So that's it about the immigration pilot program by Quebec government. So thank you for watching. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel and let me know any video, any information you need to see in a comment below, so that I can research and make a video for you. Stay safe.